We got him? We're now joined by UNLV football coach Barry Odom. With us, we're in Vegas. Barry, of course, at UNLV around the corner. Coach, thank you very much for your time. What has it been like to have the biggest game in not sports? The World Cup is a much bigger event overall, but to have the biggest game in your backyard?
Good to be on with you guys. Thanks so much for having me on. I think anytime over your career that is based around the sport of football, you want to be at the pinnacle and at the center of that. For us, at the collegiate level, you want to get in the playoffs and the national championship. But then everybody dreams and aspires to be at the NFL, and then once you're there, have a chance to play in the mecca of all games in the Super Bowl. So for us to have that opportunity to host it as a city is unique. Number one, the buzz, you can feel it already in the city. We have a lot of events here, obviously. Formula One here was earlier in the year. We had the Pro Bowl last year, all the different concerts that are here. It's the sports entertainment of the world. And for us to be able to host the Super Bowl, it's very exciting. We look for our university and our football program. We're hosting the 49ers are at our complex this week, and that's exciting for our team to be able to see that. And I think we've got one of the finest football facilities in all of college football. And for it to be on display this week with the weight room and the locker space and all the different things we have, it's a great statement for our program.
Coach, your team this year played fantastic all season long. You're really unified. You played tough games. You were able to come through kind of all of it and really put yourself on the scene, and people notice what's going on at UNLV. What was the key to doing that and gelling as a team so quickly in this season?
Well, I think number one, it starts with our players. We have a really talented roster at a number of spots. Those guys galvanize together and keep getting better. They kept getting better each week. I thought we had physical and mental toughness. We played with great resolve and together. Special teams was a huge factor for us in a positive way. Offensively, we went through a stretch of scoring 40 points or more. I think we hit that 6 or 7 times throughout the year. And then on the defensive side, we were opportunistic. We were second in the country in takeaways forced. And those things combined, early on, it was built on hope, vision, and belief. And then as you got into the season, some of those things that we talked about, the offseason, the habits, and all the different things that go into it, you start winning and things become validated at that point. We've got a strong locker room that's come back. We were a young team last year. We've made some nice additions to our roster and certainly look forward to the challenge of what comes up in 2024.
Does having the transfer portal make it easier or more difficult to build a roster?
I think everybody wants to, I'm a traditionalist in the game of college football. And, when it first started, it's like, oh, this is terrible. And whatever you're going to look at it, doesn't really matter. It's here to stay. So we've used it as a great advantage and I would say even an equalizer for us. We've unfortunately lost some players in the portal, but our stance as a coaching staff and mine as the head coach, if we lose a player either through graduation or they decide to transfer, it's our job as coaches to upgrade that position. And if you do that creatively, you can put together a very, very talented roster.
Well, it does. It giveth and it taketh away, and I guess it just depends on your outlook on it of how you're going to move forward, Coach. Because there are so many challenges you have to deal with. If you throw another negative on the fire, it's not going to help you, is it?
No, it's not. And at the end of the day, nobody cares. It's about results. And are you going to win? Are you going to graduate your players and all the things that go along with that? It's still, in my opinion, it's a relationship-driven business. And, that's in recruiting, that's in donor relations, that's in the everyday work environment, that's in building the culture of your team and your organization. When you're aligned with that vision and we're all in this together to try to be the best at everything that we do, then you start making progress. And those progress, those habits, those things show up on game day, and they're exemplified in the way that you play on those 3.5 hours on Saturday. And then at the end of the year, you're judged, did you win enough or not? And bottom line, that's the business that we're in.
Barry, I know that you have a great relationship with Mack Rhodes from your time at Missouri and where he is now at Baylor.
Yeah.
Did you notice your good friend got fined by the Big 12? Did you text him about that?
I don't think I can even make a comment on that. I don't want any fines coming this way. I know this. Mack is not only a tremendous leader, but I consider a very close friend. And he is as competitive of anybody that I've ever been around. And he's going to stand up for his coaches, for his teams, for his programs. That's who he is. And, you know, he was in the chair of the AD position when they hired me at Missouri. And unfortunately, we only got to work together about 8 months because then he took the Baylor job, and it's had great success, and he will continue to do so there. And I know that, you know, what matters when you have a great leader and there's a line in your vision, great success follows, and that's what he's done everywhere he's been.
He said to me, Barry Odom, I love Barry Odom and his family, no nonsense, loves his players, tough on them, demands a lot of them and the staff. We navigated through some difficult times together at Missouri, could not have asked for any better partner during that time. What does that mean to you?
Well, I think that means a great deal because I respect Mack, and he knows what we took over when we both started there, and we know what we were starting to build together. And I feel the same about Mack and his wife and daughter. They're tremendous people, and so fortunate we had a chance to work together for a short time. And again, our friendship will go on forever.
Barry, you have what now is college football's crazy in a lot of ways, but the realignment, you know that's kind of fractured some traditions that are gone now. And conferences are, I think it's constantly in turmoil. How does that, in your opinion, with a group of 5 conference, do you worry about what the future holds, or you could only worry about right now?
Well, I think it's always changing and forever will be. I mean, I'm used to the Big 8 days, and obviously that in Southwest Conference days, you know, and then the Big 12. I would challenge a number of people to sit down and try to write down who's in every conference, because I don't think you could do it. I'm not saying you. I think this is the general population. We know that for us, my goal for UNLV is to put us on a national stage. With the expanded playoffs going to 12 teams, we've got to position ourselves where we've got the opportunity. That's our goal. We want to be in the playoffs, and whatever the conference affiliation was, we're very, very excited about the brand of the Mountain West Conference. It's one of the most stable brands in all of college football. Last year was our 25th year. We got some really good teams and great coaches and tremendous leadership in this conference. And I think when the conference championships, when they finish out next December, the champion of our league should have a strong voice in who makes it to the playoffs.
Coach, I don't think you'd be far off in saying that the two of us couldn't figure out who is in every conference either, and we do this every day. So
you and I definitely could. Yeah. Joe on the street, good luck.
Yeah. But Coach, the calendar is a big issue for coaches. I every time we have a coach on, I like to ask him, but that third week in December, if you're in a bowl game and you have early signing day, and that's when the transfer portal is open a little before then, but by that time is when people are starting to kind of make their decisions because they've had, 8, 9, 10 days to take a couple of visits, and you've had to host people and lock down your class, all the while, preparing for a very big game, an important game that's going to showcase your team on national television. How do you fix that? Because that's an amount of work that no human being should have to do in 1 week.
Well, I think that we've worked towards what maybe is a more beneficial calendar for everyone. And at this point, that's what we are dealt with. That's the hand that we've been dealt. I don't know that there is an easy answer to any of it. I know that there's committees together that are trying to find and navigate through that to make it a little more friendly for all involved. I just don't know, because we're going to continue to have early signing. The bowl games are going to be when they are. And then through the transfer, you got to give kids and student athletes, you got to give them opportunities if they're going to go somewhere else to have a chance and a say when to do that. So there's a number of moving parts. The game of college football has been strong for over 100 years. And my guess is we'll make some changes. There'll be some things that are adjusted a little bit. but forever. It'll be a month now in the month of December that is probably the busiest. If you're not busy in December, that means you didn't have a very good year, and you're probably on the move anyway.
Barry, I know you have only a little bit more time with us. We appreciate what you've done already to spend it with us. What is more intense, Barry Odom, the football player, or Barry Odom, the head coach?
You need to come watch us practice. I don't know. I mean, there's moments that, I enjoy the game. I enjoy preparing and building a roster. I like the opportunity to do that. I think everybody that has some level of success has competitive spirit about themselves, whether you're a player or not a player or a coach. I think those things always will continue to drive our program. I mean, we talk about there being a winner and a loser every single day in everything we do. And that's from the academic work that we do in the classroom that has everything to do with part of the culture of our program. So as a player, that was one way that I found my way on the field, was the ability to prepare and play with intensity. And I think that's a little bit of the brand of what we have as a program now.
Barry Odom, head coach at UNLV, with us on 365 Sports. As we get close to what is tomorrow with National Signing Day, I know you can't get into that, but is coaching at the college level now, I don't want to say more difficult, but is it more stressful because of everything that seems to be going on at once now?
I think, the game has changed, and with the transfer world, it's changed dramatically. The portal has created that. We've created it as coaches. There's a short window of time that you have an opportunity to try to mentor and build young men into great productive members of society. You feel the ownership in that. And then, we all have a set amount of minutes in the day, and how well can you use those? Those are stressed to the core at this point. Has it become more difficult? I would say yes. That would be an accurate statement. It's also, a lot of it depends on the staff that you have, the alignment and the vision, the moving parts that everybody's got a role to do, and how important that is for an organization to be successful. And then every day you wake up and you understand that it's not going to go completely by script. So you've got to be a great problem solver. You've got, in our case, we've got 110 on our roster. We've got 110 sons that I've got to make sure that I do every single thing for them today to provide them the opportunity to be successful. And if you do that, you do it consistently, then you got a chance to have a successful team.
Barry, thank you so much for your time. We really do appreciate it. It's great to be in Vegas. Good luck to you moving forward, and great knowledge and insight on what's happening with college athletics. We appreciate it.
Thanks, guys. Enjoy the week.
Yes, sir. Barry Odom, head football coach at UNLV. And you can